Good afternoon, this is Newshour on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation in Freetown, and I am Stella Bangura. Coming up in this edition of Newshour, the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces ends its two-day Army Command Group Conference 2026. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation commences training on mediation and conflict management for junior and mid-level foreign service officers. And stakeholders from government, academia, civil society, political parties, and the media examine the prospects of introducing proportional representation at the executive level. These stories and more in this edition of Newshour. Stay with us. Welcome back, and now for our fourth story. As Sierra Leone continues discussions on governance reforms and national cohesion, stakeholders from government, academia, civil society, political parties, and the media have gathered in Freetown to examine the prospects of introducing proportional representation at the executive level. The National Roundtable, organized by the Faculty of Leadership and Governance at IPAM, seeks to explore alternative governance models aimed at promoting inclusiveness, stability, and sustainable peace. Our reporter, Alwyn Roy Fox, has more. Now, according to reports from the Sierra Leone Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission, communities in the region have raised concerns over continuously paying off electricity bills even when they suffer blackout, and operators forcefully removing meters from people's homes for debts even when they suffer blackout. This report came during a press briefing at the Commission's office in Freetown, where media personalities were updated on the matter engagements in regions. Sulaiman Babaturi reports.
We really want to have a complete ban on the land meter before we want to focus on what the customer wants.
The report was the results gathered from the Sierra Leone Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission's National Roadshow engagement, which aimed at democratizing the multi-year tariff order MITO and strengthening consumer participation in the energy sector. In doing so, the Commission engaged 229 community stakeholders and 20 communities in 5 regions, including Moyamba, Bo, Kono, Bombali, and Potloko. People in the report said they were willing to pay the high mini-grid tariffs if they received reliable and high-quality electricity supply. In Moyamba and Koribondo, according to the report, concerns were raised for continuously paying of electricity bills even when they suffer blackout for a full month. In Kono and Makeni, the researchers observed serious breakdown of dialogue between operators and community leaders, while the people in Mara and Musaya continue to endure a 2-year blackout due to battery depreciation. In Bompe community, it was observed that ongoing roadwork has destroyed drainages, causing flooding of low-mounted meters and the abandonment of mini-grid poles in the center of newly paved roads. While Foredugu has been without mini-grid electricity supply for over 2 years. In Konakridi in Potloko district, it was stated that daily mini-grid electricity electricity supply uptime has reduced from 20 hours to 3 hours, followed by system maintenance delays. Upon all these, plus concerns on blind meters, communication errors, and people not being able to read and see electricity tokens, the researchers say operators forcefully remove meters from people's homes, requesting they pay their debts.
And for us as a commission, we thought that for a multi-year tariff to be effective and for there to be a multi-year tariff increase, the public has to embrace and consumers in the rural communities. These highlight issues must be addressed accordingly.
The Deputy Minister of Energy and the Deputy Director General of the Sierra Leone Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission pledged to address the concerns raised as the project aimed at building a transparent, accountable and consumer-centered energy sector for all Sierra Leoneans.
The Commission should remain committed to maintaining the momentum generated by this campaign. Additional consultations should be held to ensure stakeholders are fully informed as tariff determinations are finalized.
We observe a significant improvement in public understanding of how electricity tariffs are determined. Communities increasingly recognize that tariffs are based on objective and transparent calculations rather than arbitrary decisions.
This is to exhibit the Commission's commitment to transparency in its regulatory operations. SLBC News, Saman Babature reporting.
The Minister of Planning and Economic Development has launched 8 strategic development plans aimed at guiding the development actions of 8 councils across the country. Launching the plans, the Minister, Kenya Bale, promised to take development to 190 chiefdoms in the country. Sulaiman Baba Ture again.
Development plans officially launched.
The plans capture the needs of the different districts and councils, including both district and municipality, Kailaon, Kambia, Koinadugu, Pujao, Port Loko District and City Council. The 8 districts and councils prioritized agriculture, human capital in education, health, wash and social protection, youth employment and skills, improving technology, infrastructure and connectivity, and strengthening governance and accountability. To achieve the priorities, the council said they would strengthen the collection of on-source revenue generation.
All along, we have been investing creating structures that can give us more revenue, like building market stores and infrastructure that can give us more revenue, like guest house, market stores and other things. So in the event, in the next 1 or 2 years, resources we have from those areas can help us to finance our own project.
The chairperson of Port Loko District, Aliu Badara Tarawali, appealed for more support and called on government to disburse budget allocations in time, especially for emerging districts and councils.
Implementing this plan requires adequate resources. We cannot move forward with this plan without the support required to effectively administer our biggest plan.
A bottom-top approach was used to develop the 8 plans with the consultation of the people. The Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Kenya Bale, noted that the plans aligned with the SDGs, the Big 5 game changers, translated into actionable budgets, allowing local councils to champion their plans with adequate budgets. She said her ministry is developing a modernized strategy to unlock 1% chiefdom development funds levied on mining companies, supplementing shrinking international aid and widening national resource gaps.
Now we have some chiefdoms in this country that have had over a couple of million, up to $4 million worth of resources lying in an account for them that they cannot access because they do not have feasible intervention strategies. So the ministry is starting. We put together a PRA framework, and it's going to be working. The two initial chiefdoms will be Marampa and Mapoki.
The minister called on development partners, CSOs, and the media to support and hold authorities concerned accountable for the achievement of the indicators in the plans. Development partners, World Bank and UNICEF, pledged to support the councils to achieve their plans and commended government for the developmental strides undertaken, especially in reducing child and maternal mortality in the country. SLBC News. Sulaiman Babatue reporting.
As Sierra Leone continues discussions on governance reforms and national cohesion, stakeholders from government, academia, civil society, political parties, and the media have gathered in Freetown to examine the prospects of introducing proportional representation at the executive level. The National Roundtable, organized by the Faculty of Leadership and Governance at IPAM, seeks to explore alternative governance models aimed at promoting inclusiveness, stability, and sustainable peace. Our reporter, Alwyn Roy Fox, reports.
The National Stakeholder Roundtable on Proportional Representation at the executive level brought together a cross-section of Sierra Leonean society to discuss possible reforms to the country's governance architecture. Held at the Foreign Affairs Academy Auditorium in Tower Hill, the forum focused on how proportional representation and shared executive models could contribute to greater political inclusion and reduce the winner-takes-all nature of governance. Organizers noted that while Sierra Leone has adopted proportional representation for parliamentary elections, executive governance continues to operate under a system that often leaves sections of society feeling excluded from decision-making processes.
For decades, we have operated under a majoritarian winner-takes-all system. We must have the courage to acknowledge that this man does what this man does to our society when earning 51% of the vote yields 100% of executive control. The remaining 49% of the electorate is structurally shut out of governance.
The roundtable provided a platform for experts, policymakers, political leaders, academics, and members of the media to exchange views on international best practices and their relevance to Sierra Leone's political landscape. Various speakers emphasized the need for broad national dialogue and consensus building in considering any future constitutional or election reforms, stressing that inclusivity remains critical to long-term peace and democratic consolidation.
Over 10,000 public consultations, received over 150 position papers, had over 20,000 hours of airtime, had broad engagements across the country, and gave us a report which should be the roadmap for a new and improved constitution. Of course, we saw the 2017 white paper and the 2021 white paper. One thing was very prominent in the Cowan report. Cowan report, after all of those consultations across the country, after looking at best practices across the world, recommended that this country should transition permanently to the proportional representation system of government.
But he had to do it, because as he said, it will dismantle monopoly, it will open political space, it will restore pluralism, and it will lay the foundation for the multi-party democracy in Sierra Leone we pride ourselves in today with APTAM.
The discussions also highlighted the importance of ensuring that governance systems reflect the diversity of Sierra Leone's population while maintaining accountability, transparency, and effective leadership. SLBC News, Alwyn Roy Fox, reporting.
A healthy mind, they say, is found in a healthy body, and doctors too believe that prevention is better than cure. Meanwhile, growing public consciousness about healthy living means that organizations are now integrating physical exercise into their programs more than ever. At its first health walk event, the Archdiocesan Catholic Men's Association, ACMA, has brought together members of the public and those of the Catholic community in Freetown. The event, which was held on Aberdeen Beach, was aimed at promoting healthy living and preventive health care with support from Ramsey Medical Laboratories. My colleague Aminata Bangura was there for the SLBC and now reports.
The participants did not only take part on the health walk, but they benefited from health awareness activities organized during the event. In support of the initiative, Ramsey Medical Laboratories provided free health screening services to the first 100 participants. The services included blood grouping, blood pressure checks, and body mass index assessments, giving participants the opportunity to monitor their health status and receive basic medical evaluations. The managing director of Ramsey Medical Laboratories, Dr. Abbas Wuri, said that health remains its institution's primary focus. He noted that the laboratory supports initiatives that promote health, particularly preventive health care, and encourage people to adopt healthy lifestyles to improve their overall well-being.
Most problems can be solved if identified early. So I think a lot of people, especially in Sierra Leone, wait until the problem becomes a crisis. Whereas if you identify stuff early, you can tackle it early. An early diagnosis gives you a better prognosis, as we say. So it helps the outcomes that way.
Andrew Bernard, an honored president of the Archdiocesan Catholic Men's Association, said the association organized the health walk as part of its ongoing focus on men's mental health and overall well-being. He expressed gratitude to Ramsey Medical Laboratories and other sponsors for supporting the initiative.
From the time I took up, we'll be celebrating the Father's Day as one of our big celebrations. So we try to come in with activities that will promote brotherliness. Because we are the fathers of the diocese, so we want to commune, we want to work as a community, we want to be as friends, and we want to make sure people know themselves, because we are having 29 churches. So we saw the need to have a health walk for this year, Father's Day, so that we can start from preaching to the action.
Isaac Fude, one of the participants, said that walking and playing football are part of his regular routine, making the event an ideal opportunity for him to take part and support the cause. Other participants praised the organizers and sponsors, especially Ramsey Medical Laboratories, for supporting an initiative that encourages healthier lifestyles in the community. SLBC, Aminata Bangura reporting.
President Julius Maada Bio has welcomed Sierra Leonean Hajj pilgrims back home and joined them for their first Friday prayers since returning from the Holy Land. The special prayer service was held at State House. Our senior State House correspondent, Margaret Senge, reports.
Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Hajj, Sheikh Murtada Sise, described this year's pilgrimage as one of the most successful in Sierra Leone's history. He said no deaths or major incidents were recorded during the pilgrimage. According to him, about 2,626 Sierra Leoneans, including members of the diaspora, performed Hajj this year. Of that number, 826 pilgrims traveled directly from Sierra Leone. Sheikh Sise thanked the government institutions and partners whose support made the journey possible.
Many people don't help me. If I not tell you this, then it will appear like that we don't do the work. But in fact, I think people never mention that they don't actually help me to let the Hajj succeed. And I want to start immensely from your office, the State House, and the Vice President office and the team. The Vice President office don't give me full time this year, more than last year. So that helped me for move fast. Well, I'm going to tell you, thank you, sir. Let God bless you. Also, the fact that we get the full-fledged Saudi embassy now, it helped the Hajj process. And I'm glad that the ambassador don't come. Barakallah Afrika, Jazakallah Khayr.
Welcoming the pilgrims, President Julius Maada Bio thanked them for praying for Sierra Leone, the Vice President and the government. The president said reforms introduced by his administration have ended the challenges that once plagued Hajj operations. He noted that Sierra Leonean pilgrims now travel with dignity, respect, and better condition. President Bio also commended Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo, the Ministry of Social Welfare, and the Deputy Minister for their commitment to ensuring a successful pilgrimage. He reaffirmed the government's determination to improve the lives of citizens, describing peace as one of the foundations for national development.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you, Vice President. Thank you, Chief Minister. And for Tennessee, we were very obedient pilgrims. And we hope we will be changed individuals there where we can. And we hope we will contribute meaningfully to the growth and development of Sierra Leone.
Delivering the sermon, Imam Badamasi Savage urged the returning pilgrims to uphold the values and lessons of Hajj. He emphasized the importance of unity, peaceful coexistence, and good character as central pillars of the pilgrimage experience.
Oh, pilgrims, with all the safe return, let we remember, say we get great lessons them for land. From the Hajj where we go perform, we go learn first for say the life you for be sincere and honest. Just like how you try for do sincerely for the sake of Allah. You for be honest for whatever responsibility you get and try for be sincere.
Imam Savage called on all Sierra Leoneans, especially those in leadership positions, to promote peace, unity, and mutual respect. He said love, cooperation, and respect for the rule of law are essential for national progress. The Imam added that peaceful coexistence remains one of Sierra Leone's greatest blessings and noted that the Quran strongly advocates those values. In his closing remarks, President Bio thanked religious leaders for their continued guidance and prayers. He prayed for God's forgiveness, strength, and blessings upon Sierra Leone, its people, and leadership. Reporting for SLBC News, I am Margaret Senge.
Now, a Malian national who was confirmed to have lived in Sierra Leone absconded for over 4 years has been taken to the Mali consulate for reintegration. In this report, she confirmed to have missed direction with her husband 4 years ago. Cynthia Kamara picks up the story.
For over 4 years, a Malian national, Memunatu Samake, has been stranded at Congo Cross Signal Hill Junction with no permanent destination. She has been moving from one place to another with a mat and bag. She sleeps in shop entrances at night. Since her arrival in Sierra Leone, Memunatu has been surviving by the goodwill of Sierra Leoneans who has been supporting her. What makes her struggle intense is language barrier. Even after years in Sierra Leone, she is struggling to understand or speak another language. Abi Kamara, a petty trader at Signal Hill Junction, who befriended her, explained how constrained the lady has been in time past.
She is sleeping in the streets. Some guys have been attempting to sleep with her at night. I try to accommodate her, but she doesn't trust us. We do sign language to communicate with her. I want her to be reunited with her family so her health can be restored.
Interpreter of Malian Bamana language to Creole, a Sierra Leonean Ali Samora, explained her experience and expectation.
This man now, I don't try for interview now. He say a man can in this country they lost by themselves. But according to not in the right way that I may be taken say now somebody can't left him. Yes.
According to her, she missed road with her husband 4 years ago. I believe a Sierra Leonean man brought her. She said she is from Tumatu, Bamako City. She has 2 children. All her family are in Tumatu, Bamako, Mali. She said she wants to be reunited with her family.
They say right now, they want to put inside Mutka, let go. let go now in turn back. See that help in want.
I was touched by her story, which prompted me to take her to the Mali consulate on Wilkinson Road. The consul of Mali, Ibrahim Haj, noted that he will communicate with the Mali ambassador about her ordeal. She was accepted by the consul as they undertake plans for a return. The consul, Ibrahim Haj, promised off camera to take responsibility for their national to ensure she is reunited with her family. For SRBC Newshour, Cynthia Kamara reporting.
As the rains intensify across Freetown, blocked drains filled with garbage are not only causing floods but are creating dangerous conditions for the spread of malaria, cholera, and other diseases. We investigate the growing public health threats facing vulnerable communities like Susan's Bay. Zainab Mahdi filed in this report and was read by Julian Dumbuya.
As the rainy season worsens across Freetown, growing concerns are emerging over the impact of blocked drains and poor waste management on public health. In several communities, including Susan's Bay, drainage channels are heavily clogged with garbage. Susan, a community member, told SRBC the flooding has affected them badly.
When the water enters the community, people suffer and many businesses are disrupted. The drainage system is blocked, so customers cannot come to the market and we lose home. Many people, especially children, become sick with cold and other illnesses because of the flooding. We are asking the government and other stakeholders to help improve the drainage and support families in this community so that we can live and work in safer conditions.
Omo Amara, who lives at Susan's Bay, explained that the drainage has overflowed since the starting of the rains.
We beg for our government.
That was when I started calling on the authorities to come and see the situation for themselves. We are appealing to the government to help us address this large gutter. Whenever it rains, dirt and debris wash down from the mountains and fill the drainage channel. The water then overflows, causing flooding and making life very difficult for residents.
It is the people living here who suffer the most. We struggle to create makeshift crossings so that people can move around. Sometimes we contribute money to put temporary structures in place, but when we cannot afford it, we are left with no solutions. We are begging the government to come to our aid, especially for women and families living in this community. We need a proper drainage system that will allow water to flow freely and prevent flooding. We are pleading with the authorities not to forget us. We are human beings like everyone else, and we deserve safe living conditions. We ask the government to have pity on us and help solve this problem before the situation gets worse. Salimatu Kamara lives in Madina community.
The water they carry that speed for enter now we rooms them.
When the dirty water flows through the gutter during the first rains, it affects our home badly. If the rain falls at night, the water comes with short falls that it enters our houses. At that moment, we cannot save our belongings. We only try to save the lives of our children.
During the last heavy rains, my house was seriously affected. Water entered the rooms and everything was flooded. We are appealing for help. We want the government to assist us by building a proper drainage before the rainy season becomes more intense. We know the rainy season begins around April, and every year we live in fear. When the high water level raises and mixed with the rainwater, the flooding becomes even worse. The water can quickly overflow and take over our homes. Sometimes you cannot rescue your property. The flooding can sweep everything away and even put the life of our children at risk. This is why People here are afraid to keep belongings in their homes. Whenever the rain starts, residents rush to move their important possessions to safer places.
Now, following the arrest of 68 individuals at Bailu checkpoint in Kailan district over a week ago, the Executive Director, Anti-Trafficking in Persons Task Force Security, has said government has trained border operatives on how to identify warning signs associated with suspected trafficking cases. Julian Dumbuya takes up the story following the incident earlier this month.
Human trafficking remains a challenge in Sierra Leone amid several porous borders across the country. Earlier this month, about 68 individuals, including children, were intercepted by security forces on suspected human trafficking at Belu checkpoint in Kailan district. According to the International Organization for Migration, the Center on Human Trafficking Research Outreach, among others, have reported a significant number of trafficking in person cases at border areas in Sierra Leone over the past decade.
Unsuspected people, giving them promises so that they can move them and trap them in slavery-like situations, either within the country or outside of the country. In this situation, these 68 persons, there were 45 children, 19 women, and 4 men.
Amidst these latest developments, what has the government done to prevent similar happenings in the future?
We are training and we continue to train border operatives on how to detect, identify victims of human trafficking and refer them for protection services. And this is what they have done at the Bailu checkpoint. They did similar thing very recently in Kwenadugu district.
To ensure its sustainability, the executive director said his office has been working with the Ministry of Social Welfare to establish a case response and management team in Kenema. At this point, the victims who were intercepted by the security forces are now provided with psychosocial support, food and other essential items, while the police investigations continue.
When they were done, they moved the suspects and the victims to Tuku, that's the Transnational Organized Crime Unit here in Freetown. So they are right now with Tuku for further investigation. But let me quickly also add that in Tuku, we are teaming up with World Hope International to provide further psychosocial support.
Authorities say continued vigilance at border crossing points is needed more than ever before. For SLBC, Julian Dumbuya.
And now a matter involving a 21-year-old Abubakar Kale, a student, has been committed to the High Court by Magistrate Mustafa Brahmaja of Pademba Road Court No. 1 to answer to a charge of murder. Our court correspondent Mohammed Kurma tells us more.
According to the particulars of offense, the defendant on Monday, 6th April 2026 at Moiba, Kisi in the western area of Freetown, allegedly murdered one Mohamed Bangura. No plea was taken as the matter is before the court by way of committal proceedings. Prosecution witness number 1, DPC 18670 Mohamed Amin Bangura, attached to the Regional Police Division at Ross Road Police Station, told the court that he recognized both the defendant and the deceased. He recalled that on 8th April 2026, while on duty at Ross Road Police Station, he received a case and inquiry file transferred from the Moiba Police Post. He said the file contained a police medical request form and a Ministry of Health referral form. He further said that on the 9th April 2026, in the presence of Sergeant 8602 A.K. Kaifala, he obtained a voluntary caution statement from the defendant in Creole, which he recorded in English. At the conclusion of the statement, it was read over and explained to the defendant, who admitted it to be true by affixing his right thumbprint. The statement was produced and tendered in court as part of the prosecution's evidence. The witness said that on the 8th April 2026, he wrote a request for a postmortem examination on the remains of the deceased. The request was also produced and tendered in court. He added that on the same date, together with Scenes of Crime Officer Inspector M.S. Kamara, he witnessed the postmortem examination conducted by Dr. Simeon Owis-Koroma. Following the examination, the doctor issued a cause of death certificate, which was equally produced and tendered in court as evidence. DPC Bangura further testified that on the 27th April 2026, he compiled and forwarded a report on the alleged offense of murder to the Office of the Director of Prosecutions for legal advice. On 5th May 2026, he received advice from the DPP directing that the defendants be charged with murder. Both documents were produced and tendered in court. He said that on the 11th May 2026, together with Sergeant A.K. Kaifala, he formally charged the defendants with murder using the same procedure adopted in obtaining the voluntary caution statement. The charge statement was witnessed, signed, and subsequently produced and tendered in court as part of the prosecution's evidence. The witness was cross-examined by defense counsel Muke Amara. At the close of the prosecution's case, Tommy Zaiza informed the court that the prosecution had led sufficient evidence. Having carefully considered the evidence adduced before him, Magistrate Mustafa Bremaja ruled that the prosecution had established a prima facie case against the defendant and consequently committed Abu Bakar Kale to the High Court for trial on the charge of murder. For SLBC, Mohamed Kouma reporting.
And now in the central part of Freetown, a woman who was in her late 50s named Hannah Snamin Williams was found dead in her home located at Setra Co Street, Cotown Road. She was not seen for nearly 5 days. Her body was discovered only after neighbors noticed a bad odor emanating from her apartment. Our intern, Almami Conte, filed in this report and was read by Mohamed Sembi Koroma.
It was an emotional moment here at Setra Crew Street, Cotown Road, Freetown, as morticians carried the remains of Hannah Snamin Williams. According to a resident in the area, Edward, the deceased sister met him and claimed that she had not seen her sister for about 5 days. He said the sister Bali told him she was getting some bad smell from the late woman's room, which she suspected to be a dead rat. Based on that information, he and Bali immediately left for the house to ascertain what had happened.
When we come to the house, that's a minute go inside one table. Let us check through the window.
When we arrived, the window had been tied shut with pieces of cloth. I started shaking it until it eventually opened. As soon as it did, flies began swarming out. We used a torch, opened the door, and discovered the body. The body was swollen and the face was also badly swollen. I immediately said this was a police matter.
A family friend, Plo, said Hannah had faced long-standing domestic conflict within the shared household.
Because this man was with his sister, then they said there was a mommy died.
We find it difficult to understand how someone could go unseen for several days in a shared household, especially when there were concerns about a strong odor. We are calling for a full investigation and for justice for Hannah Sinami Williams.
The latest happening in the area ignited intense anger in the community as youths stormed the house, throwing stones and demanding immediate accountability and justice for the deceased. In response, police have detained the family members who were living in the house. They are currently being held at the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, to assist with the ongoing homicide. A postmortem is expected to be conducted to establish the exact cause of death.
Now, the Institute of Public Administration and Management, IPAM, has launched a smart college mobile and web application. It is designed to improve academic and administrative services for students, lecturers, and university administrators. Esther Susanette Parsi reports.
This app is formally launched. Thank you.
The new application is part of IPAM's digital transformation agenda. It provides students with access to course registration, class timetables, attendance records, academic results, notifications, and online fee payments through Visa cards and mobile money platforms. Launching the application at IPAM's campus at AJ Momo Street, Tar Hill in Freetown. The Deputy Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Sajo Aziz Kamara, described the initiative as a major step forward in the digitalization of higher education in Sierra Leone. He said the platform reflects creativity, innovation, and local talent while supporting the ministry's vision of improving quality, accessibility, efficiency, and global competitiveness in higher education through technology. He also stressed the importance of ensuring sustainability, cybersecurity, inclusivity, and integration with other national and institutional digital systems.
What is most impressive about the app that we're going to launch is that it's homegrown, it's localized, it's a local solution. It shows the talents that we have in-house.
Deputy Vice Chancellor of IPAM, Ezekiel Duremanilako, explained that the application forms part of a broader strategy to digitize university operations and reduce inefficiencies in academic management. He disclosed that the platform would eventually be integrated with the University of Sierra Leone's portal, finance systems, attendance management, and examination processes.
And in this system, we have all the designs awaiting the university portal. In the future, your grades of paid-up students will be seen in this portal.
According to university officials, IPAM has already introduced a digital examination system that has been used by more than 1,500 students. Plans are also on the way to introduce digital attendance, monitoring, and automated GPA calculations. The Smart College app will serve as a one-stop platform where students would access transcripts, academic information, attendance records, fee payment services, and other important university services directly from their smartphones. Authorities and students were optimistic that the Smart College app would enhance institutional efficiency, strengthen data management, improve service delivery, and enrich the overall student experience and learning. For SLBC News, Esther Susanette Bassi reporting.
In a move aimed at improving the learning environment in Sierra Leone's educational institutions, the government of China, in partnership with the United Nations Development Program and the government of Sierra Leone, has handed over thousands of classroom furniture sets to higher education institutions in the Western area. The initiative forms part of the nationwide education support project designed to address infrastructure deficits and enhance access to quality education. Our reporter, Olwyn Roy Fawkes, has more.
The official handing over of items to beneficiary institutions in the Western area brought together government officials, development partners, educational administrators and students to witness the distribution of furniture aimed at improving teaching and learning conditions. Delivering the overview statement, UNDP resident representative Frederick Ampere described the initiative as a demonstration of the strong partnership between Sierra Leone, China and UNDP in advancing education. He disclosed that the project has delivered over 14,000 pieces of classroom furniture, including more than 7,700 sets for schools and higher education institutions.
To procure these 14,000 pieces of furniture and still have $600,000 left. We made a cost savings of that amount. And what has that cost savings translated into? It's translated into procuring additional furniture to reach out to more schools and more children. This is the power of partnerships.
Minister of Technical and Higher Education, Dr. Ramatulai Wuri, welcomed the intervention, describing it as a practical response to infrastructure challenges affecting educational institutions across the country. According to the minister, a conducive and dignified learning environment is critical to achieving the ministry's reform agenda and producing competent graduates capable of contributing meaningfully to national development. She called on beneficiary institutions to ensure the furniture is properly maintained for future generations.
I would like to take this opportunity to express, on behalf of the government and the people of Sierra Leone, our sincere appreciation to UNDP for its continued partnership and technical support, and to the government of the People's Republic of China for this generous contribution. This collaboration underscores the strength of our bilateral and multilateral relationships and the importance of solidarity in advancing human capital development.
Delivering the keynote address, the ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Sierra Leone, Chow Yong, highlighted China's long-standing support to Sierra Leone's education sector through scholarships, training programs and skills development initiatives. He noted that the furniture distribution project will benefit schools and educational institutions across 14 districts, while reaffirming China's commitment to supporting Sierra Leone's human capital development agenda.
This project, which started July last year, will provide about 20,000 furniture units for primary and secondary schools, technical and vocational education and training institutions, as well as universities across 14 districts nationwide.
The furniture handover forms part of the Supporting Access to Education project, jointly implemented by UNDP, the government of Sierra Leone, and the Chinese government. SLBC News, Alwyn Roy Fox, reporting.
Chicago College of Cosmetology, Art and Fashion has reaffirmed its mission to elevate vocational education in Sierra Leone by hosting its 8th graduation ceremony at the Miata Civic Center in Freetown. Abdul Kabir has more.
This 8th graduation ceremony showcased the college's dedication to strengthening Sierra Leone's middle-level workforce, with a particular focus on empowering women through hands-on expertise in fields such as nails technology, makeup artistry, among many others. The graduation emphasized the role of women in driving national development and equipping them with marketable skills to thrive in the modern economy. Established women leaders shared insight with graduates on how to leverage their knowledge to positively impact society. Entrepreneur Awanatu Toure underscored the importance of skills development as a cornerstone for success in present-day Sierra Leone.
When people look at success, they often see the finished products. They see the crown, the business, the achievements, or the recognition. But they rarely see the countless moments of doubt, sacrifice, rejection, and perseverance behind the scenes.
Managing Director Theodora stressed the college's focus on practical, job-ready results.
We started in a cave saying or narrating year in, year out. But the good thing about it is every year I'm narrating the story. Something new adds up. Something positive adds up. Something greater adds up. Starting in the kitchen with only one student and using your house help as a student as well, and cleaners at this facility as students as well, and having this number of students here today is a great achievement.
Deputy Accreditation Officer of the National Council for Technical Vocational Education praised the college's efforts in empowering women in present-day Sierra Leone. Graduates expressed immense satisfaction with their specialized training, noting that the skills acquired will enable them to bridge the gap.
This is my first big graduation after high school, and I'll say I'm just overwhelmed because I never expected it. Although I believe in myself and I am a person that does not give up, I knew I would be here, but at the same time, I didn't expect it. Mostly the certificate, I had to read a poem, and it was so good.
By aligning vocational training with the rigor of traditional degree programs, Shikagol College continues to inspire a new generation of professionals and reshaping the narrative around vocational education in Sierra Leone. Abdul Kabir, SLBC News, Freetown.
And now to end the news, the main points again. The Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, ASLAF, through the Sierra Leone Army, has ended its 2 days Army Command Group Conference 2026. Chief of Army Staff Major General KT Sise says the conference was an opportunity to share ideas and identify current weakness and prefer solutions to tighten border security in the face of regional extremism. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has commenced training on mediation and conflict management for junior and mid-level foreign service officers. The training aims to strengthen the capacity of diplomats in conflict prevention, negotiation, and peace building. And stakeholders from government, academia, civil society, political parties, and the media have gathered in Freetown to examine the prospects of introducing proportional representation at the executive level. Organized by the Faculty of Leadership and Governance at IPAM, the National Roundtable explored alternative governance models aimed at promoting inclusiveness, stability, and sustainable peace. And that is how we wrap up this edition of Newshour from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation Television. I have been your anchor, Stella Bangura. Stay tuned.